Being born in an Islamic country and raised by my very religious grandmother and atheist mother, I was always puzzled with the relationship with religion, spirituality, and human beings. So I spent a lot of time, devoted a lot of my time to understand how the main religions work and then how the spirituality work. And this led me to investigate into the concepts, investigate into like karma, memories, human structure, human DNA, how we store the memories in our DNAs, how our lives or our belief systems are influenced by our environments. And this led to how religion is one way or the other, or can be, and is used as a control mechanism in the humanity. But let's not go there for now, because there's so many concepts that it's good to understand. Today, I like to talk about a little bit what is karma, and maybe actually read what does karma mean in different religions, and what does karma mean in a few philosophical as a philosophical question, and then maybe I'll tell you what I understand about karma. So, as you can see, I'm outside of the pizza place waiting for my boyfriend. So, stay with me whilst I'm not cutting through that thing. So, you heard like at least 1,000 times from people like when somebody does something cruel and people say the karma will come and find you, or people talk about how they try to clean their life out of the karma that's been put onto themselves. So the karma passed through the family, the karma passed through their other lives, or karma which is happening because they just recently did something. But what does actually karma mean? So the word karma comes from Sanskrit, and it simply means action. But in its full meaning, karma is the law of cause and effect. And that applies to the moral and spiritual life. And every action, like physical, mental, or spoken, creates an energy that returns to its source. It's just the thing that what we say, what we put out in the world, what you put out in the world, you invite it back. Crucially, karma is not the punishment, but that's almost like how it's been used, how it's been understood by us. And it's not a cosmic judge waiting to strike you down. It's more like a gravity, like impersonal, consistent, and always operating. Plant a seed of kindness, and kindness grows around you. Plant seeds of harm, and the harm finds its way home, and the home is you. And do not be deceived. So this, I'm going to give you a quote. This is Galatians 6:7. This is from the Bible. Do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows. So it's like, I guess everybody is aware of energy, and the science is our new religion, and that science proves the energy. That's how we interact. And the energy of the intention and good cause and the bad cause just comes back to you, because we are all one. So when you put out one kind of energy, you put that onto yourself. So that's the very short what karma is. And Buddhism, karma drives the cycle of the rebirth. Rebirth is named as samsara. Every intentional act shapes future lives and presents circumstances. The path to liberation is purifying karma through wisdom and compassion. That's for Buddhism. So in Hinduism, karma is one of Hinduism's central pillars, and the Bhagavad Gita teaches Nishkama karma, which means the right action without attachment to results. So your dharma means duty. Dharma is the duty, and karma is the action. Action without attachment to the results. You just do it because you know that is the right action, and that must be fulfilled with purity. As carry on, I think it's really interesting. I think like we really, especially in whatever kind of a religion that you've been raised into, this is there. So it's really interesting to unfold it and to understand what it is. And in Jainism, perhaps the most detailed karma system of any religion is Jainism. Karma is literally understood as fine particles of matter that cling to the soul based on thoughts and deeds, weighing it down from liberation. I'd like to repeat that again. Karma is literally understood as fine particles of matter that cling to the soul based on the thoughts and deeds, weighing it down from liberation. I guess one of the like a pillar concepts is there is a liberation. We're here, and I guess we don't want to be here. Like none of souls, we kind of enjoy, but we don't want to be here forever. Enjoy it, experience, and then liberate it. And the liberation is the awakening, or liberation is not carrying the weight and being light, because we are from the source, and the source is light. Source is energy. Energy is light. Light is energy. And the karma is, if it is like a negative energy, it weighs you down, and it's like a particles that clings onto your soul that prevents you being liberated. In Taoism, expressed as yin and yang, every force produces its opposite. Acting against the natural order creates imbalance that returns. Live in harmony with the Tao and life flows freely. As written again, every force produces its opposite. Acting against the natural order creates imbalance that returns. Live in harmony with the Tao and life flows freely. In Christianity, while not called karma, it's called it just runs through the scripture. The principle of the karma runs through the scripture, like you reap what you sow. And the golden rule is the divine judgment. And the grace can transform karma, but the moral law of consequence remains. So if there is what is the grace? The grace can transform karma. So you can, with the belief and with the harmony, you can transform your past, probably, and let it go, become the light again. But there's still the consequences to be faced. But that is kind of like a when you once you start rooting into this world, into this spirit, your spirit and soul, and into this idea that there is no sin. It's learning, it's adapting, it's growing, it's connecting, it's being one in lots of different perspectives, and start doing this not just with words but with whole your being. This transforms you, but it also gives you the responsibility of the law of consequence. So if you act in a way, there is a consequence, like, and it doesn't have to be bad. So there's good consequences of good things. Let's have a look at the other. So what does the Judaism says about it? The concept of midah, knet, midah, measure for measure. Wow, isn't that like a measure for measure? God's justice reflects your deeds back upon you. The Torah repeatedly emphasizes that moral actions have moral consequences. I guess like it would be really interesting to make a video about God and the concept of God, because when we read it in this way, it almost feels like there is a separate entity outside of us that is shooting like thunderstorms and ready to punish us, and that being entity is God, and we're always doing wrong. Well, like, because our thoughts are not pure, because we're looking for opportunities, and that's being human being. But we train ourselves, we train our thoughts, we train our body, we train our actions, we train our principles, we shape ourselves. So that is the consequences of our moral actions. But once you stop thinking about the God as a concept that's outside, that's ready to punish us, and start to think about it's just one whole system, and it's like it's giving birth in itself on a continuous basis, on different angles, just to experience being that and creating another vision for itself. Then it changes its meaning, and it's not like a big punishment waiting for us. So what does Islam say for this? Every deed is recorded by angels and weighed on the day of judgment. Allah is both just and merciful. Every action matters eternally. Good deeds, hasanaf, and sins, sayyaf, have real weight. And what is that? That's like in Islamic belief system, religion, there is the bridge that you have to cross when you die, and your deeds are weighed on that bridge. It's the Sirat bridge. I think there's a new movie which is called Sirat. I think that's a really interesting name for it, because it's a transcendental experience of like having that oneness. But you have to go through that bridge. That bridge is in us, and passing the bridge is like almost reflecting who weighs what. We weigh it ourselves. I think it's in that sense. So let's have a look at some of the like indigenous traditions. It's generally the indigenous traditions reflect kind of similar ideas about nature and acts and consequences, actions and consequences. Like across Native American, African, and Aboriginal traditions, Aboriginal, I think Australian, probably, the idea that humans are connected to all living things, and that harming the web of life harms the self, reflects the same karmic wisdom. In Hindu and Buddhism thought, karma operates in 3 levels. There are some things. Okay. Sanchita karma is your accumulated karma from all past lives. So there's like a karma operates in 3 levels according to the Hindu and Buddhist thought, and it's like your accumulated past lives. It just comes from all of your past lives, and it's called Sanchita karma, and that's the full storehouse you carry. It's all of the causes, all of the effects that you carry all your life. There's no, you can't pass, you can't run away from something you did 10 lives ago. And the second one is, that's the hand that you dealt with. So parabda, I'm probably like pronouncing it wrong, but like, and that's the portion being played out in this life. So that's how you're playing in your life right now. So there is no one to blame, because we make our own judgments and decisions according to the information we have gathered in our lives and this life. And the third one is the Kriyamana karma, and that is the karma that you're actively creating right now in every choice you make today. So this is why karma is not fatalism. So you always have the power to act well and change your karma. So what does it mean, like acting well and changing? It's changing your thoughts, changing your belief systems. What might be the cause of your acting in a negative way? Because you're either afraid, you're either frightened, you either think that you're in danger, you're just trying to get better for yourself. But changing that and start thinking that it is already better, and there is a way, and the way is really close, and the way is here, will open up new doors, new ways, new possibilities to see. So let's have I like to quote something from an ancient Hindu scripture, and Brihadaranyaka, Upanishad. You are what your deep driving desire is. As your desire is, so is your will. As your will is, so is your deed. As your deed is, so is your destiny. So find that deep desire and start shaping your life from that deep desire. There isn't anything called like all the bad things happen to me. That is a belief, and that's something rooted in your deepness. Once you start to change that, once you start to build your own true self around it the way you like it, then karma changes. Okay, different perspectives. So science, the verdict, that physics affirms that every action has an equal and opposite reaction, and psychology shows that behavior patterns, kindness, cruelty, trust, create feedback loops in relationships. The mechanics of cause and effects are undeniable. Like cause and effect, I hit this and it moves. So whether karma extends across lifetimes cannot be scientifically tested. But if you think that it is, this is the time to calm yourself down and change it. In philosophy, most ethical systems, from Aristotle's virtue ethics to Kant's moral law, agree that how you act shapes who you become and how the world responds to you. If you think you're a thief, the world acts as if you're a thief. Sometimes that's not true though, is it? But it is, I guess. I know there's like so many questions about like sometimes really good people, so many bad things happen to good people, and so many great things happens to bad people. but we don't have the full picture of life. So we can't just judge it by looking at, because in the inner you are weighing your own deeds. And it doesn't mean that you have to just say yes to everything, because you have your own boundaries. And it's not about allowing people to go over you. That's not karma, that's stupidity. Or that's something that a lesson that you need to learn to. Okay. I guess the best question would be is, what seeds am I planting today for the future? Because every word we talk, every word we think about ourselves, about the world, about the possibilities, that is a seed for the future. And how you act today determines what you become tomorrow. Let's close this. And 8 of the world's great religions, spanning thousands of years, and every continent, and all of them in their own language, teach the same truth. Actions have consequences, and moral cause produces moral effects. And whether you call it karma, divine justice, the golden rule, or simply the law of cause and effect, the message is the same. Live with intention, act with love. What you put into the world does not disappear. It finds its way home, but the home is you.